Hello, this is the Mega Construx Halo Hannibal Mantis Charge set, and I want to start this off with a comparison to the previous Mantis that Mega did at this scale. They've done two major Mantises. One of them was the RC one that wasn't that great for its price, wasn't very posable, wasn't even very buildable, but they did this excellent looking one quite some time ago, and if you look closely, or even if you just take a cursory look at it, you'll notice that a lot of things are identical in the builds, especially if you don't look at the legs, basically. Don't look at anything beneath here. A lot of this stuff up here is the same, which I am fine with, because I think the design, the appearance of this first Mantis is very good to this day. It has stood the test of time very well, and it was very posable, but it was difficult to pose. The joints are rather loose on this one, even when it's standing in a fairly stable pose. You know, you don't even have the legs splayed apart or anything, and that was its biggest problem by far. It looked really good, wasn't that great to play with. The new one has these huge joints, huge ball joints, ball and socket joints used for the legs. You can see them here at the knees and also up at the hips. Those are the major ones. They also finally add them down at the ankles. So that's where you get your major articulation for this entire build. I'll just focus on that for a minute, because there's one thing. There's just one thing that I can do here that's very simple, really, that basically says all that you need to know about how this works. It's this: just hold the feet down and just move the body of the thing around. See if I can let go. That's just leaning a little bit too far, but there you go, something like that. So I can have it leaning over like that. That's cool. I can have it with one foot. I accidentally pulled the heel off, but I can have one foot facing forward as it does its forward little lunging stomp like that. I can do the celebratory dance, if you will, with it. Let me see if I can get this to work. Yeah, get it to just kind of squat down a little bit like that. I can get it to go into its lower position. I can turn that one out. I mean, you can do anything with these legs, which is absolutely just the best thing that you can ask for. The most you can ask for in articulation in a buildable toy of a mech-like thing, something robot-like, or something that needs to articulate at all, something that needs to be able to stand, something that needs to be able to pose. The only issue that I have here is that these heel pieces just at the back are coming up when I'm trying to put a lot of pressure on this. It's just this part right here can pop off if you're using that the way that I did. But that's a small price to pay to be able to just put your hands here and just move this thing around and have the feet always be completely flat on the ground, to be able to just let go and have it pose where it needs to be or where you want it to be. Now, these joints do not look as good to me as the previous ones did. They're definitely bulky, and you can see their construction very easily. The fact that they are ball joints, which is technically not appropriate, but it just works so well and works so much better than what they did before. Look at this. I can angle this, the entire body, the main hull forward like that. It almost looks like it wants to fall forward, but it has enough stability. And I'm not even planting the toes all the way down to the ground. This is just on the main structures of the feet. So that's the main thing that I wanted to show you really in this review, is that Mega has done a really good thing here. They've had some missteps in the past with articulation, even in the Halo line. So with that previous Mantis, with the RC Mantis not being able to articulate much at all, and then with the second generation Cyclopses that are very fragile, that use the ball and socket joints that are very small and that pop off easily. Stuff doesn't pop off easily with this one in general. You can still rotate the upper hull around. You can still move both weapons systems up and down. This can be right up and down. It can also be rotated here with the launcher bay. These can be even turned in and out. I don't know if yeah, I guess that is an appropriate thing to be able to do. And you can fit a Spartan in there by just opening this up, and it just has the standard amount of room. Plus, anything that is a decoration on this one, unlike with the previous one, is a print. So that's a print there, print there, print there, print there, print there, small one. That's good to see. This is a print here, print there, all prints. And they're pretty good quality prints as well. They don't feel like they're gonna scratch off easily. You know, it's the right material, has the right amount of opacity. Just everything looks professional about this. I like the choice of colors that they went with as well. I think they match up very well with the in-game model of this thing. And Mega's light gray is a really nice looking color. It has just a slight bit of silty muddiness to it, which feels a little bit kind of between organic and synthetic. You can't tell if it's quite plastic-like or supposed to represent concrete. I don't know. There's just something about the specific tone that they chose there, and also the surface texture on it. It's really good. This is an excellent model here that they've made, and I was definitely questioning their choice of making another Mantis that wasn't a total redesign, and also that wasn't just the base model one, because I think that the base model color scheme is great. I also really like the Oni one myself, but I think they did really well with this. I don't have any complaints about this other than the super obvious appearance of these huge joints, but it's well worth it. 3 figures are included in this set. This is obviously just your basic Grunt, the Halo 4 and beyond model of Grunt, and it has probably the best color to use, I think, in general. If you're going to pick any one color, I think this one is just sufficiently generic. It'll fit into any battle scene perfectly. So, good looking basic figure here. Same color used for the Elite Zealot, and same color for the plasma pistol he comes with. The Grunt had the Needler, but yeah, this looks good, and obviously the two can go together. Might have been nice to include one additional Grunt. I actually think you would have looked like a small squad, you know, a little individual attack unit with a leader and a couple of literal grunts to go with them. I think that would have been an improvement in the figure selection here, but for what it is, I really like the Zealots myself. I like their design, the new ones, the relatively new ones, but that's personal preference. Black for the skin tone, so it's fairly striking here. Doesn't look muddy, just looks very serious, you know. And finally, for the UNSC side, and to have somebody to pilot the Mantis, this is a wetwork Spartan, and there are a lot of paint applications on this figure. It's very obvious and easy to pick out the bright silver ones. They're very crisp, very well applied, really good production work there, just on the main body armor, on the helmet, on the hip insert piece, and on the backs of all 3 of those pieces. Really, really well done. Nice fine lines that are just well applied across some difficult surfaces. Really good production work there. But there is also a lot of a darker blue color that appears to be painted on. I believe it's a spray. I believe it's masked on. And you can see that at the upper part of the shoulder armor. You can see it on the side of the lower arms. You can see it on the armor itself, the main body armor, on the helmet. You know, you get 2 tones here. I'm hoping I'm not mistaken about that it's not just in the plastic, but you can see that there's a different level of sheen. It's actually a satin finish compared to the shininess of the raw unpainted plastic, and it's consistent from side to side. There's some on the lower arms that's a little bit different from side to side on this particular one, but it's pretty close. It's just a little bit offset. Yeah, it's subtle, but it's nice. I especially like it on the front of the body. If that wasn't there, it would look a little bit more toyish, but that brings down the shine, brings down the glossiness. It's good. And then we also get this printed weapon. It's not perfect on the top, but it's pretty good. And I really appreciate getting weapons that have nice paint applications on them. This is the Blood of Suban version of the Covenant carbine or carbine, one of the most hotly debated, needlessly debated pronunciation issues of weapons in the world. Both of them are perfectly legal and well accepted in militaries, actual real world militaries and such, but you can choose whichever you prefer. Doesn't matter to me. Carbine, all works for me, but nice to get another variant of that. You know, it's using the same mold that we've been seeing for quite a while, but looks pretty good, and you know, it's something different and it's something special. So overall, very solid stuff. Has a retail price in the US of $40, which just reflects the general increase in price that we've seen for the Mega collector focused lines in general. Fortunately, their quality is very good these days, and they do have the numbered bags finally. The anti-competitive patent that prevented them from doing that has evidently expired, or they've gotten licensed to get around it or something. But yeah, numbered bags makes life so much easier at this point, and yeah, there were no issues putting this together. Mine had spares of a number of very small pieces, which is a lot better than just having just enough with a little bit of risk of one not being included, or you know, having stuff missing. So everything fit together well. The new joint system, or the choice of joints that they went with this time, makes so much more sense. The figures are done well, and I'm happy with this overall. So that's it for my look at this one, the new Mantis from Mega Construx. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again as soon as I can.
Aggressive Covenant approaching.
Teammate down!